This method of solving quadratics is solving by factoring. This is the method where we do the x box. So we start with the box, and the first thing you can do with the box is you can fill in where the x squared goes, always in the upper left, and you can fill in where the constant goes, always in the lower right. And then the negative 9x, because this only has 3 terms and we'd like it to have 4, we know that these two are going to add up to negative 9. But the reason I call it x box is because the diagonals also have to multiply to give us the same answer. So the product, because of the diagonals, is going to be 18. And the sum, because they have to add up to negative 9x, is going to be negative 9. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to give me 18, like 1 times 18, except they have to give me a negative sum, so they'd both have to be negative, but that would be negative 19. That's not going to work. Or negative 2 times negative 9, but that would add up to negative 11, so that's not going to work. Or negative 3 times negative 6. Oh, that would add up to negative 9. So that's what I'm going to use. So that means that this box will be negative 3x, and this box will be negative 9x. We can now see that the two diagonals both multiply to give you a positive 18x squared. And we can also see that the sum is, I wrote that wrong. I'm going to erase that. That should be a negative 6. Now it matches this. They multiply to give you a positive 18, and they add to give you a negative 9. Now I have to go to the outside of the box and look for what gives me the outside of the box. Well, if this is going to multiply to be a 2, then one of these is going to be a 2x and one will be a 1x. I don't want the 2x to be on the side because that wouldn't give me a negative 3 here. So if I put a 2x here, then I have 2x, and I can get a negative 6 by putting a negative 3 here. I will also put a negative 3 here so that I can get negative 3x. So that means in factored form, I have 2x minus 3 on the top of the box and x minus 3 along the side of the box. And we know that those two things multiply to make 0. So now we're going to set each factor equal to 0. 2x minus 3 equals 0 is one of our solutions, and the other solution is going to be x minus 3 equals 0. Now we're solving for x. We're trying to get the x by itself. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. It turns out just for this example that both equations had us adding 3 to both sides. That's not always going to be the case. This equation is already done. X equals 3 will be one of our solutions. And for this equation, I have to divide by 2. So x equals 3 halves, or 1.5, is the other solution. So that process is how we solve using factoring. Start with the box, then look at the x, make your product sum table, figure out the outside of the box, and then write in factored form and set each factor equal to 0 and solve for x.